Welcome to the MythBusters Aftershow, The Simpsons. First question, while I love The Simpsons, isn't studying the physics of cartoon kind of ridiculous? What's next? Will Wile E. Coyote hang in midair after running off a cliff?
I would love to tackle some Wile E. Coyote myths. We've talked about it for years. Personally, what I'd like to know is how hard is it actually to catch a roadrunner? I'm sure we would never be allowed to do this, but you know, like on rocket skates.
Yeah.
We have tackled far less plausible things than the two myths from this episode in the past.
Does it look like his ass is dead center?
Next question, are you fans of The Simpsons?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you kidding? In every way, we are fans of The Simpsons. We are fans of the people that make The Simpsons, and we're actually totally proud to have been part of it and to have them be part of MythBusters.
Yeah, the humor is, I would say, relative to most humorous things on the television, of high quality, and its relevance, and it's subversive, which we are particularly fond of. It's kind of in our wheelhouse as well. Next question, is it true that Al Jean has a degree in mathematics?
He does, and he entered Harvard for that degree in mathematics when he was 16 years old.
Their writing staff is packed with science and math geeks, right? 110%.
How about that?
Yeah, smart guy.
Very smart.
Next question. The Homer build was incredible. Did you take more effort on this than normal?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, Simpsons is a brand that is, you know, that we didn't want to sully with, you know, half-assed, you know, handiwork.
No, and so we had to actually drag out some of our old school special effects techniques for doing a really finely crafted Homer. We used some additive foam building. We used some of the techniques we used for the episode where we built the fat guys in the back of the police car.
I know exactly what it feels like to be Michelangelo.
And then we did some really high-end CNC machining and mold making.
Oh, it's kind of heavy.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Can I just also say how totally creepy it was to stand next to full-size Homer?
Ta-da!
His proportions are absolutely bizarre when they're human size.
Yeah, his head is like down to here. I mean, it's really quite funny. Next question. The idea for making the wrecking balls was genius. How did you guys think that up? Well, I thought that up, and it was an idea that I'd had a while just because, you know, using earth, which they do, by the way, or sand in some kinds of casting of iron things. And so it appealed to me, the elegance of it. I was actually a little disappointed that it didn't come out neater than it did. But the concrete set off a little early, and having never done it before, what I should have done is dug those holes deeper so that we didn't have to kind of improvise as it came up to the correct height. You know, it was a long story, but...
Next time he has to make a wrecking ball like that.
Yeah, I'll be spot on.
Perfect.
Now that is a proper cartoon wrecking ball.
Next question, was your wall reinforced at all, and were the two walls the same?
The two walls were absolutely the same. And then we braced it with what we felt was an appreciable amount of bracing that a normal house would have. But most importantly, we matched the construction of the two houses exactly identically to each other, so the result was comparable.
Next question. With Wrecking Ball, there were lots of ifs and buts. If the ball swung this amount, if it weighed only this, if the house wall was that, did you find it frustrating when you can't be totally definitive?
Well, I mean, everything has qualifiers. Look, one of the primary things we learned early on in doing MythBusters is we looked for definitive answers and found that, like, even definitively how much electricity would kill you is a nearly impossible question to answer without a ton of qualifiers. The resistance of your body, whether you're sweating, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so everything requires qualifiers. And this was, look, I mean, I would have loved to have swung the ball further, but the giant-ass crane that we had, that was as far as we could swing it without potentially getting to the point where we might tip the crane over. And I don't know about you, but I think that's unacceptable.
Yeah, and in general, we intend to be thought-provoking, not definitive. I mean, definitive, you know, when it comes to science, can require months or years or even decades to do.
Go!
In many cases. So we sort of play with these things. There's a there's as much science and you know, careful methodology as we can fit into an episode every time we do it.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't move very fast, but it had quite a kick to it, didn't it?
I believe that's Newton's second law right there.
Homer saved the house. Awesome. That's not a question, is it?
No, that's not his question. I agree, though. Homer saved the house. Did not expect that to happen.
Here he goes!
Yeah.
We were literally going, there's no way Homer's going to make any difference to this at all.
That's a result that I never would have bet on.
Yeah, that ball was just like, it was the kind of thing, if you got between it and a hard place, it's like you're in deep doo-doo. Next question, have you ever plumbed in a toilet for real?
Plumbed?
Why? Yes.
Plumbed in a toilet. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
I think my first toilet I did when I was 16. Next question, did the results of small scale
We're gonna
surprise
make a
you?
late potty training show. 16, woo!
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Next question, did the results of the small scale surprise you? They didn't me because it looked like your rig pretty much guaranteed an erupting geyser.
Well, bully for you.
Next question, why didn't you put someone on the toilet as per the clip? Would you want to sit on one of those toilets? I think not.
Yeah, and
We could have put a dummy on there and everything.
we could have
but-
put Principal Skinner's mother on the toilet. Frankly, we thought it was more about the geyser than what happened to Mrs. Skinner. We really did, and we'd already made one Simpsons figure for the episode, and we really decided to concentrate and hone in on the geyser effect rather than Principal Skinner's mom.
Next question. It's bizarre that you guys can pretty much get a hold of anything, but acquiring cherry bombs was hard. Is that bizarre to you?
You never know what's going to end up holding you back. It's totally true. It was a little bizarre to us. We had to call fireworks experts all over the place to find out that they were unachievable given the time and the place and everything.
Yeah, and there are a lot of things I can think of that we simply can't get a hold of, and so we have to make them. Fire or flamethrowers.
Flamethrowers. Rocket-propelled grenades.
Various sorts of cannons. And,
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah. Happens all the time. And, you know, yeah, it's like you grew up seeing these things and some friends had them and other stuff like that. But it turns out now maybe the atmosphere is more restrictive and you can't find them. That's
Well,
it.
That's it for Simpsons Aftershow.
Thank you very much.